And I think we're live. Welcome to Movie Time Minute, everybody. This is Movie News Minute, our Sunday night stream where we talk about all things movie news, everything that's going on in the world of movies and television right now. And I'm so glad that you could all join us tonight. Looks like we've already got some comments, so it's really great to see you guys coming in early for that. Yeah. So as of right now, I don't think I've got any guests coming on tonight, so it's just y'all and me, at least for the moment. So I hope you're okay with that. That's the way it's going to be this evening. We've got a lot of things to talk about today. Let me look over my topics again. We've got this week's box office results, of course, we're going to talk about. We've got a talk between the director and Variety of Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Great interview there that happened this week. We're going to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's moving its streaming release date a day early. And SAG-AFTRA going to be going back to... SAG-AFTRA going to go back to talks again on Tuesday, so we're excited for that. And then finally, I'm also going to be doing my Misery review for the Does It Hold Up video you guys voted on for last week. Hadn't had time to do it this weekend, so we're going to do it right here live with all of you. So thanks again for joining us, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to read a few of the comments to start out the night, and we'll go from there. Dark Movie says, hey. Looks like come in earlier today after this was made. Said 4 hours, but yeah, I won't be here. But for me, does news about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 has me a bit excited. Okay. And he says just a tiny bit. I understand that. Hope you, or if there's someone else joining you, like Ken or someone there, hope you have an amazing stream. Well, I appreciate that, Dark Movies. Toby, I appreciate you joining the comment section down there and contributing to this. It's yeah, I do think I'm going to be doing this alone tonight. I haven't heard anybody with free time to jump in tonight. I know Ken's watching the ball game, so when Philadelphia's playing, he's not going to be on a stream. So that's where he's at tonight. Let's see. Spoiler Kings, thanks for the comment, buddies. It says, "What's up, DJ? Have a good stream. I appreciate that. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun today." Let's see. 80s Kid says first. Yeah, looks like you were first when we actually got started anyway tonight. So thanks for joining the stream. All right. So I haven't tried this today, so I'm going to see if I can get this to work. Because the first thing I want to talk about this evening, let's see, present, share screen. Let's see if I can make this go today. I know last week I was having all sorts of trouble, so hopefully today works a little better. Yeah, it looks like we've got it running today. Awesome. That's great. I wasn't sure. So we'll read through this and see what is happening. Get back to it here. Cool. All right. So we've got SAG-AFTRA Studios to return to talks on Tuesday. So let's read some of this article. It says SAG-AFTRA and PTP will meet for bargaining on Tuesday, October 24th at SAG-AFTRA Plaza. Several executives, members, companies will be in attendance. I read the statement. So this is coming to us from Deadline. This is great news, the fact that they're getting back together again, because we were worried that this wasn't going to happen very soon after last week's fell apart. So really great that we know that negotiations are going to resume, on Tuesday, October 24th. I know there was a lot of actors that come on over, I think, different Zoom calls, different things that happened this week. So that were very concerned, to say the least, about what was going on with these negotiations. So it's really good to see that they're coming together and going to go ahead and try to knock this out this week. I really hope they can come to terms on something. But the fact that I really thought we were going to be going weeks now without any news on this, and the fact that they are coming back together Tuesday is definitely a good sign. So that's that's good to hear there. All right, let's see. We got Jason Entertainment in the chat. Thanks for joining, Jason. Good to see you. Says, hey, DJ, how are you doing? Love the hat. Thank you. Going Kirby today. I've been in the Nintendo mood this weekend because while all of my friends are playing Spider-Man on PS5 right now, I don't have a PS5, so I'm playing the new Mario Wonder this weekend. Me and my wife started that this weekend, so been in a Nintendo type of mood this weekend, I guess. So having fun with that. So on the SAG-AFTRA information, are you guys excited to see they're going to come back to the table again and talk again on Tuesday? Is that sooner than you thought they would be? I know for me, it's definitely a lot sooner than I expected to see them. So I'm very curious all y'all's thoughts in the chat today. 80s Kid says, hello, 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 hello. I don't know what I'm saying. All right. Let's see what else we got to talk about tonight. I've got Marvel's box office predictions. We're going to talk about this weekend's box office here in a little bit, but I do want to talk about this report that came out this week. And I will see if I can bring this article up for you guys. Yeah, it looks like I can. So to preface this, I want to make sure I mention the first movie or the initial Captain Marvel movie. Oh, maybe it's loading up here. Did really well. This was $1 billion movie. It had a great opening weekend. I think somewhere close to like 159 million opening weekend. So the first one did really well. I don't want to play a video here. Pause that. First one did really well. Now this one is tracking to make a 75 to 80 million debut based on the latest tracking. It opened 153 million. Looks like here in 2019's Captain Marvel. So being anywhere in this range here, 70 to 90, any of that range there, it's definitely a step down from what we had gotten in that Captain Marvel movie. I think that's contributed to a lot of things. As we know, the Marvel superhero genre in general has gotten less viewers and less people coming to watch them as of late. And I think a lot of that is less fatigue, which I know a lot of people like to say, but more so quality. And I think when the quality starts improving, people will start coming back to these movies. I truly believe that. So hopefully we see some projections go up. I will say, like this time last week, these projections were around 50 billion. So the fact that it's up closer to the 75 range now is definitely better than what we were projecting a week ago. So that is a positive to look at in this. Was there any more info in that? I got too many tabs open up here. Yeah, it talks some about the movie, unique, and it stars 3 female leads. First black woman to direct a Marvel movie, so that's really cool. It says the last title for Marvel that didn't open to 70 or more was Ant-Man in 2015. So yeah, this is coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter tonight, and tracking 75 to 80. I still think that's probably more positive than I had thought of this initially. So I'm gonna take that as a win, at least for this weekend. And we'll see, and we'll keep this story up and the development of it as we get closer to the release. And I gotta say, I'm actually excited for this movie myself because this is coming out the week after my birthday. I've got big plans to go watch this. I love the Miss Marvel show. It's my second favorite Disney Plus show. Iman Vellani playing that character of Kamala Khan. Really great choice and actor. She actually is in tune with that role and with the Marvel universe, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. All right. Let's look at our comments here. I watched a good Chevy Chase movie last night. Okay. Jason says also the shirt. Yeah, Team Lasso. I love me some Ted Lasso. Great show. Eddie Skin says, ouch. I miss the John Hughes days of movies. Okay. And he says, John Candy was a great actor. Yeah, he was. I agree. All right. Well, we're just moving right along tonight. We may not have a very long stream. Don't seem like we've got just a whole lot coming in tonight, and that's okay. No big deal. We're going to have fun with this anyway. Let's see. Let me get a drink real quick. Yoo-hoo in a cup. I'm getting sophisticated. Right. What's next on the list here? All right. Next topic I want to talk to you guys tonight is our main topic for the thumbnail that we had today, and that is Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, director talks to Variety. I don't know if you guys watched the first Pooh, Blood and Honey, but this was a movie. When I first saw the trailer, I thought this was a joke. I thought it was one of those fan-made, fake trailers on the internet. But it turned out it was a real movie. It came out. It's not a fantastic movie by any means. It is a kind of a generic slasher film with the premise of Winnie the Pooh, Piglet are going out and they're murdering people. Christopher Robin comes back after years and they're going after him and his girlfriend, all that kind of thing. And it's a fun premise. It's they were able to do this because Winnie the Pooh went into public domain, so they were able to use that character. They were not able to, however, use Tigger at that time because he wasn't in public domain yet. And so they took the characters they had, they made a story about it, and they come out with Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now, this movie was made for very, very low budget. I mean, I'm talking like thousands, not millions. and it went on to make like $5 million something in revenue, and that's fantastic for this. I mean, it was definitely a solid win for them, and they were able to go on and pick up some help to go on to make the sequel. So I want to read you this article, and this actually comes after another story that they were reporting on for this, and it goes into an interview with the director, and I definitely want to share that with all of you. Let me bring that up here. All right, so the Variety article starts out with this first story. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey director hopes fourth graders not ruined by surprise screening. Yeah, so what had happened is there was a fourth grade class wound up watching this movie, and they got like 20, 30 minutes into it. Yeah, here talking to the director, literally the first 10 minutes, crazy stuff happens. Characters look scary. Don't know how, but it went on for 20, 30 minutes. I don't know how it went on that long. Yeah, it's very odd that movie went on in the theater for that long of a time, or in the classroom for that long a time without somebody noticing and saying something about it. But crazy that even happened. But the cool thing with this, I've lost my place here. I'm looking at the wrong article myself. There we go. The crazy thing here is the rest of this interview that happens with the director here. He talks about comparison first film. There's gonna be a lot more gore, a lot more blood. He said last I checked, there's over 30 deaths in this movie, which is over 3 times what the first film had. He talks about the budget going up over 10 times what it was for this because they've got a studio behind it now. So this is awesome that they were able to take this and move up to where they did. Talks about different interesting ways to kill people and how the bigger budget's going to allow more gruesome things to happen on screen. Here's one. Can you give hints about what it involves? There's a group of girls in a motorhome. They're having a good time. Then Winnie the Pooh and Owl turn up, and they don't have a good time. So that's kind of fun. And then we talk about Tigger. So if you saw the thumbnail, I've got an image on that of Tigger, or maybe Tigger. It says you couldn't use Tigger before because he wasn't in public domain. But then Tigger becomes in public domain on January 1st, 2024, and the film comes out a month later. So this time they're bringing in Tigger, and he looks absolutely terrifying. If you saw that image, was that the one? Yeah, right here. Like this is scary looking right here. I don't know what you guys think of that, but this looks insane. Yeah, and he goes on to talk about some more of this stuff. If you're interested in that, the full article is in Variety. You can make your own assumptions, different things from that. So let me know your thoughts on Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 and the director's thoughts, and also what you think about that class being shown the first movie in class, and how you feel about that entire story. All right. With that said, we've got a few more comments. So I'm going to jump over and see what all is being said. It was called Fletch. Yeah, that's a great movie. I'm glad you finally got to watch that one. Just Entertainment. I might be the only one, but I thought Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is bad. but not what people say. Yeah, so it's more of a, I don't know, it's got kind of a cult following, like one of those so bad it's good type movies. It's not made well. You can tell it's low budget, but it can be a good fun time. Jason also says it's generic and cheap, and yeah, sometimes the murders are weird, but I knew it was going to be like that, so that's why I think I had some fun. Yeah, absolutely. He says the first 10 minutes were like 8 out of 10. But I think that was worse because it made me believe it was going to be awesome. Yeah, that's true. You could that happens with a lot of movies when it starts out really great and then it goes downhill, so it makes the rest of the movie worse after getting into it. Tigger looks already so much better than Pooh and Piglet. Yeah, so that's one of the things that was in that article too. They talked about the the skin and the way Pooh was made in the first one was almost like a leather thing, and they did that because it's easier to wipe off the blood and reuse that costume, that kind of thing. This time they're going more fur. Like Tigger and Pooh both are going to have fur in this movie, so they're going to look totally different as far as how they look in the movie. So that's an interesting choice too. We'll see what difference that makes as far as the aesthetic look for Pooh. I still can't believe this is a topic on on movie news tonight, but hey, that's all right. Mama Minutes. Well, on the bright side, surely it couldn't get any worse. Yeah, absolutely. And it can only get better. If it's got 10 times the budget and you've got actual studio behind it, you've got, extra writers helping with this, that kind of thing. It's going to be a better movie than the first one. I can almost guarantee you that. 80s Kid, yikes. 80s Kid says, why can't we get fun movies like Fletch anymore? Hey, we still get some fun movies. I wouldn't say we don't get fun movies. I really like some of the stuff we've gotten. Jason says, yeah, sometimes I wonder what went through people's mind. Elementary school near me, someone put it to 2 kids that have 7-year-olds and she got fired. Wow. That's crazy. It baffles me, some of the things that happen that you hear about. On Minutes, it was more like late 70s, early 80s teen slasher movie. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I thought it looked better than Halloween 1978, so there's that. In fact, I think the movie's better than Halloween 1978. So fire me from YouTube for saying that one. Hey, and that one's in the community poll, by the way, the Halloween movie. In fact, so if you guys don't know, my Does It Hold Up poll just went up a little while ago for this week. I'm going to stretch out that poll because I was late getting it out until Wednesday morning. So you can go to my YouTube page, go to my community tab, or in the description of this video right now, you can actually look and see. I've got the link to the poll in the description. You can go to it, and I've got the original Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, and Halloween all on the poll this time for classic slasher icon movies. So fit the theme for this month. So go and do that. Check that out. Let me know your thoughts on which one you'd like to see me do next week for Does It Hold Up. I'm going to do one of those 4 movies. And you got a sneak peek just now on what I think of Halloween if that one winds up winning. Jason Entertainment, because one little girl was having nightmares for a whole week. Yeah. So funny story. I want to think, I used to sub when I first got out of high school, and there was a history teacher that left a movie for me to show kids that time, and I want to think it was a horror movie, and we wound up having to turn it off the way through, and there were some parents that got mad about that they even had me show that. So I completely understand. I've been in that situation, and it's one of those things like you're subbing for someone and they tell you this is what you're supposed to do, and then you like start doing it and you're like, I don't know, and then you go to principal and talk and find out, yeah, let's just not show that today, that kind of thing. So it's crazy that people think that it's just okay to show that to small children when there are obviously parents out there that are not going to want them to watch those things. 80s Kids and 90s, Halloween Town is the best next to Hocus Pocus. Hey, I like both of those movies. I don't love either one of those movies. I think Hocus Pocus is pretty overrated, but it's not bad. And I even have a couple of Hocus Pocus Funko Pops, so I'm not just completely against the movie or anything. But they are fun movies and great for family around Halloween time. So that's always good to have some that you can show to kids and not just scary stuff. Jason says, I'm watching my list of movies and I'm seeing that Blood and Honey is higher for me than Expendables 4, Nun 2, Heart of Stone, Scooby and Crypto, Sick, Shotgun Wedding, Legion of Superhero, and Shazam 2. Ooh. On those, see, I've not gotten a chance to watch Expendables 4 yet. I gotta say, Scooby and Crypto was fantastic. I think you're the only one that's told me you didn't like it too, of the people that've watched it so far, that was just looking for a fun time with their kid and stuff. So I enjoyed showing that to my son. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I loved all the nostalgic stuff they brought into me for that movie. And Scooby Doo is just always fun. I thought the voice acting was great. So I disagree with you on that one. I would definitely have Scooby Doo and Crypto above that, but those others, yeah, I might could go with you. I've never been a big Legion of Superhero fan anyway, so anything Legion of Superhero comes up, I'm just like, that's okay. Jason Entertainment says the last one, I'm not proud to say it because I wanted to love it so badly. Shazam 2, yeah. Shazam 2 was okay. Yeah, I still would have Shazam 2 over Blood and Honey, man. I don't know. Blood and Honey is still not a good movie. But Shazam 2, I could at least stomach to watch more than once. I don't know, but it was definitely a letdown from the previous. 80s Kid says the Batman is a good Halloween movie. I mean, it has its scary moments too. And 80s Kid says, did you watch Batman Brave and the Bold meet Scooby-Doo? Yes, I actually did see that one. That was a pretty fun cartoon to watch. You're not going to see me have a lot of issues with animated films, especially if I'm going into it with a mindset of a kid watching this, and I try to bring out the kid in me when I'm watching as well. So most of the time I come away with those having a pretty good time. All right. With that down and out of the way, I think I'm caught up on the chats at the moment. Also, it's good to see that Mama Minutes is in the chat tonight, knowing that I'm going solo, because apparently she don't like watching me solo. So the fact that Ken or Jason or any of them's not here and she's still watching, that's really cool to see. Oh, man. Let's see. Oh, we do have a couple more comments here. I don't know if I missed these or what, but this says, yeah, no, I wished I liked as much as you, Scooby and Crypto, but yeah, I'm always down for any Scooby content. I feel you, and everything's not going to work for everybody. I'm sure you went into it with certain expectations. You wanted one thing, and they give you something else, or maybe you just didn't like the writing style. Maybe the corny jokes didn't work for you. There's a lot of things that could have went the wrong way for you in that movie, and I completely understand. But for me, it worked really well. I enjoyed it more than my kid did, so that's where I was with that one. A's Kid Fanatic says Beetlejuice is good. Yeah, I'm actually going to get to go see Beetlejuice live, the play over at the Orpheum in Memphis on November 5th, which is the day after my birthday. So I'm going to get to have some fun watching that play that night, which I'll tell you guys now, that means that's a Sunday night. I won't be here doing this stream on that night. So we'll be taking a break from Movie Time Minute on November 5th, just because I'll be doing that. But I may have something else going on that weekend, and you guys can just wait for that. But I may have a little birthday surprise for you that weekend, since I'm not going to be streaming Sunday night that week. I will give more details on that later. Mom Minutes, LOL, I'm always there for you in heart and spirit. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. 80s Kid says Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase is good. So is Zombie Island. I love Zombie Island. Cyber Chase is fine. Yeah, I love Zombie Island. That's a great Scooby-Doo movie. I have fun with just about any Scooby Scooby things. So it says 80 Kid, the first 4 movies of Scooby were fantastic. Okay. All right. So with that down and out of the way, I'm going to move on to our next topic today, and that is talking about this week's box office. This is something I've really had a lot of fun with when Ken's been on or when Jason's been on. I've been able to go back and forth talking about these numbers. But today, it's just me and you guys. So we're going to talk about this box office, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys to tell me your thoughts in the comments. We're going to read those, talk about it, and see what everybody thinks. But let's bring it on up. Let's talk about, we're going to start out domestically. If I can get it to share. We're going to start out domestically and talk about what happened over this weekend, who the winners and losers were over the weekend, all that sort of thing. And if you hear my kiddo in the background, it sounds like he's trying to fight sleep, so I apologize for that. Here we go. All right. Sharing the domestic. Let me make sure it's showing up on my page. Yes, it is. Okay. All right, let's get into domestic box office for this weekend. All right, number one, coming in number 1 2 weeks in a row, and that's Taylor Swift: The Eras Tour. This movie made another $31 million this weekend for a gross for domestic at 130 million. So that's really good for Taylor. It did have a 66.6% drop, but 31 million was still enough to get it at number one spot this week. And at number two, we've got opening this weekend, Killers of the Flower Moon. I've heard some good things about this. I've also heard it's a very slow burn. And you also got to look at the fact that this is a 3.5-hour movie, which means less screens. And this is a movie that's based on true events and one that people know is going to be slow going in. So I don't know how many people are looking at it as something they want to see in theaters. I know I skipped out on it partly because of the runtime on it. So Killers of the Flower Moon comes in at number two. And I'm losing my train of thought here tonight. And it gets to 23 million. Now, this is, I'm wanting to think this had like a $200 million budget, so they're gonna have a lot of ground to make up on this. We'll see in a minute what the worldwide totals are looking like, but hopefully this gets some more love. I do know this is an Apple movie, so I'm curious how quickly this is going to be coming to streaming as well, and maybe that deferred some people thinking it might be coming soon. We will find out. But that was our number two, Killers of the Flower Moon, opening up this weekend. Number three, we get a 49% drop for The Exorcist, The Exorcist Believer. So that one's still holding on. You're looking at another 5.6 million this weekend for a domestic total of 54 million. Not bad. Paw Patrol still hanging in there. Last week's number three, this week's number four. Another 4.5 million, putting it at like 56 million domestic. That's like really good for Paw Patrol, the mighty movie. Still a lot of kids going out and seeing that. And then at number five, we got our 30th anniversary re-release of Nightmare Before Christmas, which brought in 4 million this weekend. So it's really cool to see Nightmare Before Christmas getting some love this weekend. I love this movie myself. I mean, I've got my Jack right here on the table, so you know I like this. And then rounding out our 6 through 10, Saw 10, The Creator, Haunting in Venice, The Blind, and Nun 2. So that's our top 10 this weekend. Let's go ahead and look what you guys are saying in the chat real quick before we get into the worldwide totals. Let's see. House of L joins the chat. Thanks for joining, House of L. It's really good to have you here. I'll be talking about something that's going to be going on tomorrow night here in just a little bit. So you guys hold on for that announcement, and we will discuss that. Jason, I'm hearing the winner next week might be Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, well, it may be the winner numbers-wise, but I'm not expecting great things from the movie itself. 80s Kid says, what is your favorite Halloween candy and your favorite episode of Seinfeld? Favorite Halloween candy would probably be anything with Reese's in it, or possibly Skittles. And Seinfeld, I've never really gotten into Seinfeld. I've watched some episodes here and there, and it's just not really my type of comedy. So I'm not a Seinfeld fan. Mama Minutes, High House. Let's go through that. Mama Minutes says, anytime you let kids run around and dance and sing along with the movie, it's a huge seller and a blast for teen girls for sure. Yeah, talking about the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the reasons I haven't gone to see it, because I wouldn't have minded to go and watch this, because I'm not really a Swiftie, but I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I just I don't want to be in a movie theater and have to deal with people getting up and jumping and dancing and singing. When I'm in a movie theater, I want everybody to be quiet. Let me watch my movie. I don't care if it's a concert. So that's kind of held me back from going to the movies for that one. Ace Kid, how do we go live? I'm not sure what you mean by that. He says, if using the YouTube app. I'm not sure. I don't use the YouTube app for my live streams. I use StreamYard, and that is a paid service. So that's what I use for all of my live videos that I do, and the movie tubers do. All right, let's go back. Let me look back at this. All right, let's switch this chart to worldwide. Of course, they don't have a breakdown for the weekend worldwide on this, but what I can do is go down and find where these movies are. Like we see Paw Patrol, looks like it's made worldwide 148 million. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what their budget was on this, but that sounds like it was most likely profitable for an animated movie of that scale. Exorcist Believer is now at 107 million. I know that one didn't have a huge budget either, so that's pretty good. All right, here's our opening weekend Killers of the Flower Moon. So worldwide, we're looking at 44 million. Again, if this is a $200 million budget, like I've been told, and I'd have to look up this. I don't have it on my tabs up here already looked up. But if it's anywhere close to that, plus you're looking at marketing, then they are definitely taking a loss on this one. They may, I don't know what they can make up. I mean, they've got one of the cheapest streaming platforms that you can get with Apple. So I don't know how much they're going to make up through the streaming service itself. But I mean, it's more good content to put on Apple TV Plus. So that's a positive for them in that aspect, in that regard. And I expect this one to get some Oscar buzz. So there'll be some award contention and stuff for that too. So that might be good as far as that goes. I want to find Taylor Swift eras. Here we go. So we're looking at worldwide right now for Taylor is 160 million, almost 160.1 or 0.5. That's not bad. I can see this going up as far as 200 million by the time it ends next weekend, maybe. If it's going to be pushing it, but if it can get to that mark, it'll put it at number 20 for the year. And I don't even know if this will run a full length in theaters or not. You guys can let me know if it's going to get a full theatrical run, or if it's just going to be a few weeks or something. Because if it goes further than a few weeks, then yeah, I can definitely see it at least getting to that 20 spot. All right, and that's it for that. I'm gonna go ahead and read you guys' comments now. A's Kid says, "How do I use StreamYard?" So StreamYard is a streaming option that you can use, and you can link it to your YouTube page, but it's a browser based. So you have to go search StreamYard.com, go to it, and then you can sign up to get on StreamYard. They do have a few different options. They've got paid versions. They may have a free version. I just know it's very limited on what you can do. We go for the higher end of it because of the fact that you can't stream HD if you don't have the higher end version of it, which starts at like $50 a month and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of things you can do with StreamYard. Like you can see the backgrounds that I've got here. Did you brought this up? Because I didn't even get this going across the bottom yet. There we go. Like the ticker here on the bottom that we've got going tonight that I just now finally added. That's all coming from stuff that StreamYard allows me to do. These banners that I put up, being able to go through my chat like I do, we can stream to multiple channels and go to different channels, and we can record those so we can go back in and clip them out, things like that. And we can even see all the chats that are coming into all the different channels onto our one broadcast or whatever we're doing here, So if say for instance me and Ken and Screens In and SAG Attack are all four going at one time, like we did on Ken's channel the other night, if we are doing it to all four of our channels at once, then comments on each of our individual channels are still showing up here on StreamYard, so we can go through all the comments regardless of what channel they're coming in from. So StreamYard has a lot of great tools for that kind of thing, and I highly recommend using it if you're going to do streaming online or through YouTube. Lance Jackson, the movie fan, thanks for joining the stream, buddy. Says, "What's up, man? Just chilling at home, spend time with grandparents, and watch some movies." Yeah, that's great. Anytime you can chill and watch some movies is good. Just so they do have a free version. I actually tried it, and it's not that bad. It is a bit limited, but you can put some backgrounds, put music, banners, etc. Yeah, so a lot of these things that I'm doing here, you can definitely do with that free version. Then it's just for our purposes, I didn't want to have lower quality streams, so I wanted to have it 1080p, and I know that cheaper versions didn't have the 1080p option, and that's one of the reasons I definitely wanted to go with this, because I'm already running them pretty bad cameras. So if I was any less, I definitely wouldn't want to want to get that going in that way. So now Jay says, change background and things like that. You can, I believe, have up to 6 people in the free version, 10 for the paid. Yeah, so I can have up to 10 people. I think that would be chaotic having 10 people, but yeah, you can have 10 people on it for sure. Jay said, free version doesn't allow to use logos except for the StreamYard one. Yeah, and don't they force you to use the StreamYard, or maybe not? Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I wanted to think that looking at that before when I was first looking into this, that you had to, that you were stuck using that. It is really hot in my house. I don't know if you can tell I'm breathing heavy, but I'm burning up right now. Let's see. Lance Jackson, movie fan, says, I like your Funko Pops, your Jack Skellington statue. Thank you. Yeah, I actually cleaned a little bit of this up because it was a little chaotic a couple nights ago. I had way too much sitting out here, so definitely had to clean it up a little bit. I think it's looking pretty good right now. Jay says they do actually force you to use it. Okay, yeah, I was wanting to think they did. So that's another reason for me to get the paid version, just because I don't want my stream always saying StreamYard on it. I mean, it's not that big a deal. I know there are channels that do it and don't have any issues with it. But anyway, with what I'm doing here, I'm able to have that MovieTubers logo on the bottom here and my logo up here on the top. So like that. Let's see. Jason says, oh, I missed 80s gift from the 90s. Says, did you see the Thrawn Funko Pop? I have not. I've actually not seen any of the Funko Pops from the Ahsoka series yet. So if it came from that, then I have not seen it yet. Jason, yeah, 10 people would be just insane. Nobody could say anything or hear anyone. Yeah, that's what I'm sitting here. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys now. I've got a stream coming tomorrow night, same time, but I'm going to be talking about DC, the DCU, and characters that we'd love to see James Gunn bring in DCU. This was one that I was going to do with Jonah from Cosmic Broadcast, and we're still doing it. He's still in this, but it kind of branched out after talking to some of the movie tubers about doing this and stuff, and now that particular stream tomorrow night has turned into me and Jonah hosting with Zach Attack Reviews, Screens In Entertainment, and Kenny Sparks. So Jason, Zach, Kenny, as well as House of L Comics, who was just in the comments section down here just a minute ago, are all going to be on this stream with me talking about characters we want to see James Gunn bring to the DCU that have not yet been announced. And that means there's 6 of us. 6 people that's going to be on a stream at once, and that's the most I've had on my channel at one time. And because of that, I'm going to be like seriously trying to yeah, I'm looking over at Ken's chat right now. I'll get to that in a second. It could very easily turn into madness. So I'm gonna try my best to keep everybody toned down a little bit, and I'm gonna try to do it almost interview style, back and forth between each of them, so that we don't get to everybody talking at once insane. So it's gonna be a good time though, and I hope you all can join us tomorrow night for that. All right, let's see. Enoch has a pop too. That's cool. Good to hear. Like I said, I've not seen any of the Funko Pops from Ahsoka yet. Ken, thanks for joining the chat. Glad to have you here. I know you're extremely busy watching your game tonight, so it's cool you're able to jump in for a minute. It must be halftime or something if you're talking. But thanks for joining the chat. It says, love the Gargoyles Funko Pop. Yeah, that's my Goliath. I actually have the whole set of the animated Gargoyles Pop sitting over there. Maybe one of these days I'll just fill up the thing. But I've got all the main characters, plus including Bronx and Hudson, Demona, all of them there. But I've also got stone versions of Goliath, Demona, Hudson, and Bronx. So it's really cool to have those. And I've got a 9.0 Gargoyles #1 from '95, the comic book that, thanks to House of L Comics for getting me that one. Really, really happy to have that in my collection over there. And big Gargoyles fan here. So that news a little while back about new Gargoyles series and stuff really gets me excited. Ken says it's turned into a bloody free-for-all. Yeah. So I guess he's talking about, unless he's talking about his game, but I think he's talking about the stream tomorrow night and everybody that's going to be on it. Jason says, dang, the whole Justice League reunited tomorrow. Yeah. It's going to be fun. 80s kids from 90s, are we allowed to join the stream? I've already started tonight, so I don't know if I want to jump in and try to get you caught up on what we're going on tonight. If you're talking about tomorrow, I've already got so many people on it, but you are absolutely able to join in the chat tomorrow night, and I'll try to get you on a live video with me soon if you want to do that, buddy. But tomorrow night, I am definitely pretty full right now with people on that stream. I don't want to try to add more to it. And Ken says, blood, violence, carnage, DC. We might get that. I don't know. We'll see. Jason said, that's going to be insane, but really fun as well. I believe it. Ken says, okay. I don't know if we're still talking DC, or, like I said, knowing that he's watching that game, I don't know if he's going back and forth on that, or if he's what's going on right now. What's up, Ken? Jason, Ken is in the house. What's up, 80s? Everybody's talking to Ken. See, everybody loves Ken. Ken, everybody loves you. Let me see if I can get down to 80s gift from 90s. Disney wants to make a live action Gargoyle show. Yeah, I've read those reports. And Jason says, He's talking to Ken again. We'll go ahead and keep going through. Spoiler Kings. What's going on, Spoiler Kings? Thanks for joining the stream. I saw your earlier comment from, I don't know if it was right before the stream started or whatever, but really glad you had the time to come in and say something, and I appreciate you coming. That's a lot of fun. So far, we've already talked tonight about the SAG meeting is going to pick back up, so that's earlier in this video. If anybody missed some of that stuff, they can go back and watch it later. We talked about SAG. We talked about Marvel's box office predictions, that the new predictions have just come out recently. We talked about the Pooh, Blood, and Honey director talking to Variety, and we've talked about the box office. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get into our next main topic, and that is opening in theaters next weekend. And I know there are fans of this franchise that I'm fixing to talk about in the comment section and in the videos that I watch, all those sort of things. So let's bring it up. Five Nights at Freddy's, or is it Five Nights at Freddy's? Five Nights at Freddy's. See, you can tell. Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, okay. I couldn't play these games. I looked at them, tried it. I couldn't do it. I'm not big on the horror jump scare stuff. It's the reason I couldn't finish all the Last of Us series. I never even got through part two. I just couldn't. I can't do the scary stuff. It's enough to get me to watch the movies. For me to try to play it, it just don't work for me. So Five Nights at Freddy's is one of those that I just can't do. And I know, I know that if Dark Movies rewatches this, he's going to be like, what are you talking about? Why aren't you excited for this movie? I've not been that excited for this movie since it was announced, but I got even less excited when I heard that they were streaming it day and date on Peacock as well as in theaters, because traditionally, with it being on Peacock and that, I'm looking back at like the last Halloween movie that came out. I'm looking at Firestarter. A lot of these movies that hit day and date just don't turn out to be great movies. And when they announced that, it automatically just shut me off from like, yeah, I'm not excited for this anymore. And I'm going to watch it on Peacock because I'm intrigued by it. And the trailers don't look awful. But then there was some other news that came out last week where we got told that this movie's review embargo isn't even coming up until Friday. Well, this movie is going to release on Thursday night in theaters, and we don't even get to see what the reviews are until Friday. That's another red flag for me. Definitely worried me. Well, we did get some other news this week. I'm going to go ahead and share it with you now while I'm doing this, while I'm talking about this movie. And it is right here. So, Five Nights at Freddy's gets last-minute release date change. This is over on the Direct, if you want to look at this article. I'm just going to kind of skim through it a little bit. You got a last-minute change planned for its upcoming release. Plan to have a simultaneous release, yada, yada, yada. But they have changed. All right. CNET revealed that the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's movie got a last-minute change to release days. Will now debut on Peacock on Thursday, October 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's 7 o'clock my time Central, instead of the planned Friday, October 27th date. So what this means is, get back to this. What this means is now everybody's going to get to watch it at home at the same time they could watch it in theaters, which is another downer for me as far as the theatrical run, because at least before you could say, well, I'm going to go to the movies to watch it because I can watch it earlier at the movies. It's no longer the case. Now you can watch it at home on Thursday night as well. I don't know why they made this decision, because I feel like they're going to lose a little bit of money that they would have gotten from the Thursday screenings for this, just for that reason. But it's just more and more news that just has me questioning this movie every step of the way. And for that reason, I'm fully expecting that this is not going to be a great movie to me. I'm not expecting to like this movie. And yet I'm still going to watch this movie. So let me know in the comments if you guys are excited for Five Nights at Freddy's next weekend. It is the big opening for next weekend. I'm just not sure it's going to be that big. And with Killers of the Flower Moon, we just saw in second in the box office behind Taylor Swift. I wonder if Taylor can keep it going for a third weekend, since this one's releasing in Peacock, and Taylor be number one again for 3 weekends in a row. It would be crazy if that's what happens. We're going to have to see. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get over to y'all's comments, because I'm very curious what you guys are saying about this, because I know I've had some Five Nights at Freddy's fans in my comments before, so I hope I'm not killing you guys' vibe right now. Jason, okay, I'll see what Jason says. Hey man, do you have a tip for live stream? It's my turn this week to finally host my first live stream, and yeah, maybe could use some tips from you. Yeah, don't do what I do, where I'm using a lot of ums and rubbing my face a lot because I'm told that's not good. I'm like always doing this and like doing this and like doing this, and yeah, I honestly just be yourself. It seems to be the best advice that I could give you right now. Be yourself. Try not to be too nervous. I've been extremely nervous every time I've done this. It has helped that so far I haven't done very many where I was just by myself. I've had help here and there. Tonight, I'm flying solo tonight right now, so it's a little different tonight. I hope things are going smoothly. We're 45 minutes in, and I've almost run through all my topics, so maybe we're not going as smoothly as what I'd like, just because we seem to be rushing things. But when you don't have somebody to bounce back and forth to, that's just kind of the way it goes. If you are doing this by yourself, Jason, just keep liquid on you, because if you're talking a lot, if you've got a lot of comments, you're going to be reading a lot, your mouth is going to get dry. And don't be afraid to take a drink in the middle of your stream because you need it. Other than that, just have fun. Also, I'm going to be checking in to see when that stream is, because I definitely want to check you out whenever you're doing that. Guys, if you're not subbed to Jason Entertainment, make sure you sub to Jason, because he's a fantastic content creator, far better than anything I do here. So if you're subbed to me, you need to be subbed to Jason. So, and that goes the same for Ken and 80s Kid for the 90s and Spoiler Kings especially. Like all these guys, I could go through all the names that have been on here tonight, but all these guys are great content creators. Make sure you go sub to their channels, and don't just sub to sub because you want to watch their stuff. I guarantee you they've got things that you're going to enjoy. Go watch some of their videos and then sub to them after you see what they're up to and what they're doing, and they'll appreciate it. And I know you'll appreciate once you see what they're doing. So, all right. Spoiler King says, "Oh man, all the red flags for Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I'll be watching on Peacock." Yep, same here. I'm not going to give this one theatrical love, and I hate that for the theaters. But there are other movies that I've yet to watch that I could go see in theaters if I get a chance to go, like Killers of the Flower Moon, that I'm not getting to watch this weekend, and I'm still debating on whether I'm going to go watch it just because of that runtime. Slow burns in a long movie and me do not mix, so we'll just see. I think that's what hurt me with Oppenheimer. I think if I'd watched it at home in 2 sittings, I would have liked Oppenheimer like everybody else did. But instead, I almost fell asleep 3 times in the theater, and now I have no interest in watching it again, and I had a bad experience with it. So I don't want that to happen with me to Killers of the Flower Moon as well. Ken says, the benefit of watching on Peacock is that we can do a review of it on the live this Friday. Hey, that's a good idea, because honestly, I don't know if I want to do a real review of it myself. So if I'm able to jump into your stream Friday night, Ken, and we talk about it, that'd be a great idea. Ken says it's going to try to compete with Loki. Yeah, zero confidence. Yeah, not just Loki. Thursday night is Gen V and Loki coming on. So there are 2 things that I have higher priority than I do Five Nights at Freddy's. So Ken says theaters have to be ticked off too. That's a lot of concessions revenue lost. Absolutely. I think that's great for the people that want to watch it early, I guess, that are going to be watching it at home. But I think it's a terrible decision by their part to do this, and kind of a slap in the face to the theaters. So, Spiller Kings and Mark Apollo said he's not in it. Come on, if you make Five Nights at Freddy's movies, you have to get Mark. I don't even know who that is. Maybe I should, but I don't. Ace Gift 90 says, how is the Loki show? I'm waiting until the final episode to drop so I can watch the rest in one day. Oh, man. I'm loving Loki so far this season. I'm liking it 10 times better than I liked the first season, and I know that's a lot of people's favorites. It was not mine. But this season, I'm thoroughly enjoying. I think it's been really great so far. So, sorry, got distracted there. But yeah, I think it's very worth watching. If you're waiting till the end, I feel for you, because I'd much rather be watching it as it goes, having something to talk about with everybody every week, being able to do like shorts and just talking about the movie to people and getting your thoughts out there. Like it's a great show with a lot of this is a Marvel show that actually feels like it has stakes, for one, but which is rare for Marvel lately. But it also is one that it's got a mystery to it. So every week you're wondering what's going to happen and what's going on, and trying to figure out things. So I'm really liking that about that show. Ken says, so much on live streams. I never notice how much until I have to edit out a clip from the stream. Yeah, I a lot too, but I a lot through regular videos. So I'm gonna regardless. I do it less on live stream when I'm with other people. I don't know why that is. I still do it a lot, but when I'm by myself, I tend to I get done with talking about one topic, and then I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do next afterwards. So Ken says, Jason Entertainment, when is your stream, dude? I hope I can make it. Yeah, same thing. I'm hoping it's not that I'm able to jump in, at least for a few minutes if I can't jump in the whole thing. I'm excited to see what you have going. Also, what's the topic of your stream? Do you have a particular topic? You just doing a Q&A? I'd love to know exactly what all you're doing with it. Spoiler King says, yes, Jason Entertainment is super awesome, and DJ is being humble. He got super awesome fun content. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm just, well, all right, we'll just move on. Ken says, I'm really enjoying Loki. Same. 80s Kid, has Kang been introduced yet? So I don't know if I want to give spoilers right now. There's another Let's see. I can say somebody is introduced that has Kang ties. So there's that. You can take that what you will, and however you want to take it. But anyway, all right. Ken says, I've noticed that you don't a lot while editing your YouTube journey clip. It's the least amount of cuts all 3 interviews. Yeah, I for some reason I was pretty into that conversation. Like I very much had things to say. I guess that it was almost like I was getting it off my chest. I don't know what was going on with that, but I'm excited to see what you put out with that, and how much you had to cut, how it turns out, because I had fun doing that with you. If you guys don't know, Ken's already released 2 of those from his stream on Friday night. He did one for SAG Reviews, SAG with 1 S, but not where you think. SAG Reviews, his video come out a couple days, or yesterday. Today, Screensy Entertainment's video come out. And Ken saved the best for last because he really didn't. Because I'm tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow, he's going to be releasing that clip from that about me and just about my YouTube journey, that kind of thing. So it's a really cool thing Ken's doing, and I'm really excited to see what he did with that video as well. If you haven't watched the one for Zach and the one for Jason, make sure you go and check those out because they're great videos. Jason is crazy, by the way. Screens in Entertainment, that dude, like the things he's done in his life already and what he's got going on, like that dude is crazy. That's all I can say. 80s Kid says, "Ooh." Ken says, your journey clip will be out tomorrow. Okay, so it is coming out tomorrow. 80s Kid from the 90s, as he who remains says, see you soon. Okay. All right, so with that, I'm going to go on to our next topic today, and that is what I'm watching. Now, I've been watching a lot of different shows and movies. In fact, I just watched Meg 2 a little while ago with the wife. I'm not going to do a review for that one. I just don't think I've got enough to say on that movie. I enjoyed the first half of it, thought it was pretty good. I thought it turned into something else in the second half of that movie. So I'm not going to get real deep into that, because when I don't particularly just really enjoy something, don't have a lot to say, I'd rather just not review, because I don't want to get that negative content on my channel. That's just how I feel about it, to be honest. Unless that's a serious thing where I'm having to give a review for it because I had you guys vote on it and I didn't have a choice. If it's something like that, then I'll do it. But just a regular movie that I'm already watching late, like Meg 2, I'm not going to mess with a review for that. But I did watch that this week. Seemed like there were a couple other movies, and my mind's just blank on what I watched. But shows, I watched a lot of shows this week. Of course, last week I finished Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. Phenomenal spinoff to Walking Dead if you're a fan of that franchise. Much better than some of the other spinoffs they've had for that show. And they're able to tell a coherent story in 6 episodes, which I thought was great. Also, Still watching Apple TV's The Morning Show. I think this season has been the best season they've had, and I was actually kind of worried about this season because they lost some of the cast members. They've still got Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon. This season they brought in John Hamm. Like it's still a tremendous show, but not going into the season. But this season, like it seems like it really stepped up its game. It's almost like, dare I say, it's like at the same level to me as like Succession and those type of shows. It has gotten that good, and the earlier seasons were good too, but I don't think they were at this level. So really enjoying The Morning Show right now. I think it's a phenomenal show. Also, I did watch the first 6 episodes of Goosebumps this week on Disney Plus and Hulu. I'm loving Goosebumps. I'm surprised that I'm really liking the show because I'm a huge fan of the old books. I read most of the books. If my mom's still in the chat right now, she could tell you how much I read those books. Those were some of my favorite books growing up. I currently have a signed, I've told you guys this, but I've got a signed print from the guy that did the illustration from all those original books. Like, huge fan of the Goosebumps series. The old show was fantastic. I mean, I haven't watched it in years. Maybe it's not as good as I remember, but when I was a kid, it was great for a kid because it gave me into that horror genre without getting too scary. But this show, it definitely leans in the children direction, whereas it's not the horror that you might expect from this. It's not even as scary as the old show or the books. But the storyline and the way they're interweaving the different elements of Goosebumps into one story with the different kids at the school and this teacher, it's working really well for me. So if you haven't checked out Goosebumps, at least give it 2 or 3 episodes before you make a decision on it. Because I think by the end of episode 2 or 3, you're going to be like, okay, I'm seeing what they're doing here, and I think you might enjoy it. So that's kind of my quick review for Goosebumps episodes 1 through 6. If I was going to rate those on a minute scale, I'd probably give them about a 45 to a 50 out of 60 seconds on my minute scale. So I'm very positive on that show right now. It could definitely go off the rails. I can see it, how it could go off the rails real easy in this, but it's given me enough of those old books where I've got the nostalgia feel, but it's also doing some new things with it, and it's pretty solid. That's all I can say about the new Goosebumps show. And of course, I'm watching Loki. I already talked about Loki, so I won't dive into more on that, but enjoying that show as well. Okay. I'm fixing to do my Does It Hold Up, but before I do, I'm going to catch up on all you guys' comments, and then we'll get into that next. Let's see. Here we go. Ken says, I'm convinced Screens In works for the CIA or MI6. Yeah, it kind of seems like that. Like that dude is nuts. Mama says, I watched some of theirs. They were good. Yeah, so if you watched it live Friday night, then you've already seen Ken just went through and clipped those out and kind of edited them down a little bit. So those are on his channel if you want to see the individual videos from each of them without scrolling through the whole live stream. Ken says, I feel like I should watch Meg 2 because everyone else has seen it. Yeah, that's kind of where I was. The first one was okay. Like, I had fun with it. And the trailers for this one just seemed goofy to me, so I wasn't real excited. And then I heard a lot of people say they didn't really enjoy it, so I didn't get real excited for it. Didn't watch it in theaters or anything. But today, we're trying to catch up on some movies here and there whenever we get some time. And that's one of them that we hadn't caught up on yet, so we went ahead and sit down and watched it today. Mama Minute says, I felt like Meg 2 was good. I liked it better than the first one. So here's the thing. If you really like the monster aspect of it and the attacks and those kind of things, I think the first one did better. The second one had more of that, but I think the first one did a better job of what they did with it. Honestly, my favorite parts of these movies, whereas opposite of like the Godzilla movies, my favorite parts of these movies are the human aspect of it and what's going on behind the scenes. And we got a lot more of that at the first half of this movie. By the time it got to the second half of this movie, and I said I wasn't going to review this, but you're kind of making me talk about it a little bit. By the time I got to the second half of this movie, and I'm not going to spoil it, it turned into almost like a Fast and Furious 9 or Fast 9, which is a movie I absolutely hated, for a franchise that I love, because I love a lot of the Fast and Furious movies, and Fast 9 almost took me out of the franchise. Fast 10 was not great either, but it was a lot better than 9 to me. So the Meg 2 turned into some of that Fast 9 silliness that I can't stand. Like, I go into these movies expecting some goofiness and expecting it not to be, expecting some over the top, but it goes too far, and I just can't get into it. no verisimilitude. I can't do it. So that's kind of where I was with that second half of Meg 2. Ken says, I'm glad hearing Walking Dead Daryl Dixon is good. Yeah, it's a lot at the very end of this Walking Dead journey and tunnel, because I know it's coming to an end. We've got a few spinoffs left, and that's really all we've got left in this Walking Dead universe. And I'm really glad this one worked out. Ken says, did you ever read Animorphs? Absolutely. I love Animorphs. Those were great books. 1 minute says, oh, yeah, those books are what made your sister finally want to read too. Yep, I remember that. Daryl's so good. Moment says, I'm going to have to try Goosebumps. I started Grimm now, and Hook started binging it. Okay. Yeah, I never was into Grimm. I watched the first 5 episodes or so of Grimm, and it just, I didn't find it to be very good. Jason says, thank you so much, DJ, for the tips. I'm hesitation between Wednesday or Thursday. Okay. If it's Thursday, I will try to be in, just depending on the timing and stuff, because we do have our Loki kind of after talk thing over on Screens In's channel. So it'll just depend on timing, and I'll try to jump in if I can during your time that you're on there. Matt Film Show, have you seen the new Goosebumps series? If so, what do you think? I just talked about it. Also, thanks for joining the stream. I don't know if you've commented before this tonight, but glad to have you here anyway, regardless. Ken says Fast 9 is so bad. I agree. I did not like Fast 9. Jay says, Ken, thank you. Learn from the best. All right. And Jay says, Spoiler Kings, thank you. You guys inspired me to improve. Thanks for that. Yeah. Hey, Spoiler Kings, man, they did a lot for me even this week. And I've talked to all the movie tubers as well as a couple other people. And then I reached out and talked to Spoiler Kings as well, because I've been thinking about transitioning this channel a little more into where it's mostly this live stream with you guys. I cover topics. I clip those out and put those out as regular videos. And in the tune of like what Spoiler Kings, with Zach Milne, who's a big inspiration for me as well. And some of the other bigger YouTubers that do that type of thing where they're mostly a live stream channel. I'm really considering making this channel more of that. So that's kind of where I'm standing right now. And we'll see if that's the direction I go. I know I still have a lot of people that really like my regular review videos, but that's just not what I'm as comfortable with doing. So we'll see how it goes. I'm still contemplating some things, but right now that's kind of where I'm going. So yeah, completely understand that. All right. With that said, I'm going to do my new Does It Hold Up video here for you guys live. After I get a drink of some Yoo-hoo. Oh. Let's see. All right. So this week, for Does It Hold Up, you guys voted on a Stephen King movie, and you guys chose Misery. This was on a list that included things like Cat's Eye, Christine, and what was the fourth one? Cujo. So those 4 movies were on this list. You guys voted for Misery. I wasn't really sure what to expect from this. I'd seen the cast. I didn't remember if I had ever seen the movie. And after watching it, I can say I don't remember seeing this movie. But this is a cast that had James Caan and Kathy Bates. And I love both of those actors. R.I.P. James Caan. He was a fantastic actor. One of my favorite shows in television history was Las Vegas with him and Josh Duhamel. Love that show. Love James Caan. Loved him in Elf. Loved him in Godfather. You know, so many things that he was in. Fantastic. And this was a movie that had the 2 of them in it. Kathy Bates, she's just been fantastic for so many years. And this is a story where James Caan's character is a writer, and he's at this remote location. He leaves his hotel, decides to go to, I guess, back home. But he has a car crash. There's ice and snow all over the ground. It's coming down hard, big blizzard type thing. He has a car crash. He wrecks. Kathy Bates' character finds him, rescues him from the car, brings her back to her place. Of course, she tells him the snows are too covered. They can't get out right now. He's got broken legs and stuff. She's nursing him back up to health because she's told him she's a nurse. And he's kind of just stuck in the situation. At first, he's very, very like, oh, thank you. I'm really glad you found me. You know, that kind of thing. And she's helping him. She's talking to him. And then turns out that she's one of his biggest fans. She's got all of his books and she's read everything and it's changed her life, you know, all that sort of thing. But the more time he spends there, the more he realizes this girl's not all right in the head. And of course, Kathy Bates plays this phenomenally. I don't know if she's got some personality issues, whatever's happening, but she'll flip a switch in a heartbeat, and she'll go from being all sweet and nice to all of a sudden getting mad for something. And one of those moments is when she finds his script. And I know I'm giving you guys this whole story as I'm going, but I don't really know how to review this otherwise right now. She finds this script of his new book that he's going to have coming out. And as she's nursing him back and as he's, recuperating, she figures out that he kills off this main character. And she just goes ballistic on him. And eventually she goes through all these different things. And I won't give away any more than that. Needless to say, he finds out this girl's crazy, to say the least. And he tries to escape a couple times, and she finds out he escapes. She does something to him that's completely grotesque to keep him there, and that will haunt my dreams for a while, what happens in that scene, because they showed it, and I don't know why they showed it. But to have a movie that really dives into these two characters and really shows you the back and forth dynamic, and as we unfold more of Kathy Bates' character's life from before and who she really is and what's really going on with her, that kind of thing, it turns into an excellent character study of a movie with these two characters. And I gotta say, this is a movie that I'm not always satisfied with endings of Stephen King movies. This one built up to a climax, and it even broke my heart at one point for another character that shows that's a part of this story. It did a number on me by the time I finished watching this movie. And I watched it with the wife, and really I expected Stephen King to be something, just because it's Stephen King, you're like, oh, this is going to be a scary movie. This was not one of his scary movies. This was more of a thriller drama, and done so well because it scares you in a different way. Like, you've got slashers, you've got cars coming to life type movies, where or ghosts or demons and all these type of things that can be scary. But sometimes the scariest thing itself is human nature, and that comes out to its full with Kathy Bates' character in this movie. So, with that said, the acting choices, the direction, the cuts and editing, all that for this movie, fantastic. Storytelling was done really well. Of course, I don't expect anything less from a Stephen King based movie. And I'm going to go ahead and grade this on my minute scale, and I'm going to give this a 55 out of 60 seconds, because this is one I absolutely see rewatching again in the future. Not necessarily as like a horror movie or a Halloween movie, like I kind of had in mind when I was thinking of Stephen King movies I haven't seen yet that I was putting in my poll. But this is absolutely one that I could see rewatching again in the future and showing my kid when he gets older, just because, hey, this is how some people can be. And you never know what they're going through on the inside that can cause them to snap. So, fantastic movie. Highly recommend this movie. If you haven't ever seen Misery, go check this one out. I think you'll have a good time. With that said, the next Does It Hold Up video is in the description right now. The poll for it is in the description of this video, and it's also on my community tab. And I've already said it toward the beginning, but if you didn't see that, didn't catch that at the start of this video, then I'll go ahead and tell you now. The 4 movies are Nightmare Before Christmas, Friday the 13th, Child's Play, and Halloween. All the original of those franchise, classic icon horror characters. That's what I'm going for this next week for Does It Hold Up? And if you like the way I did the review here live with you guys, taking some comments as soon as we're done here, let me know. I'd love to keep doing it this way. Then I'll just clip it out and upload it from here, because I have fun doing it like this. It's more interesting to me, more entertaining to me to get to talk to you about it like this. It feels more personal instead of me just, trying to read a bullet. I didn't even write bullet points for this. I just talked about it, and that's fun to me. I prefer that off the cuff. So maybe it's not professional. Nobody ever called me professional. So anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this movie. And let me know what you're going to vote for on Does It Hold Up for next week, because I'm very curious to know. And for the rest of this video, we're going to take your comments, live comments, questions. And once we get through all those, we'll go ahead and just end the stream, whatever time that is tonight. And we'll just say we appreciate you being here. So let's get into our comments and see what all of you guys are saying. If I can catch up to figure out where we were. My mom says Grimm reminds me of the original Charmed. I could see that. Ken says, how many yoo-hoos did it take to fill up that cup? This cup, it was about 1.5 yoo-hoos because I had to finish off my second yoo-hoo when I put it in here. But I was trying to keep from popping open cans in the middle of a stream, so I thought it'd be easier just to pour it in a cup and have it here instead of trying to, do all that. Moment says you should do what you enjoy the most. It takes less of your family time away. Yeah, and that's honestly, I mean, this coming from my mom, she's going to say that, but honestly, that is a big part of my decision making and saying that I think I'd rather do it in a live stream form and clip it out because it definitely takes away from family time, and I can feel that a lot of weeks, and that's why there's some days where I have no videos for 3 or 4 days because I just have to recoup and spend time with my wife and son because it definitely sorry, I just got a message that confused me. So it definitely takes away from that, and I don't want YouTube to ever take away from my family. So that's one of the reasons, because these lives I can do at night time like this, or I can do on my days off when everybody's gone to school and work and that kind of thing. And I'd much rather do that after my kids gone to bed. I can get on like I am tonight, and it just makes things a little easier. Ken says, Ken, no man, Kenny don't, haha, we're here to support and learn from each other. Learned a lot from you and content creators. Yeah, okay. I'm just talking to each other here. We got Poppy the Popcorn. Hey, how's it going, Katie? It's good to have you in the stream tonight. Everybody's saying hi. So don't forget to hit thumbs up. Yeah, I appreciate that. I need to remember to go in and say thumbs up to myself, but I haven't done it, so I always forget. There's some of those. Some other things. Oh, yeah, this Misery is an intense movie. It kind of showed how fandoms can do, being very extreme in this one, though. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I kind of wonder. Oh, did I actually even say Misery does hold up? I feel like it holds up very well. I don't think I even answered the question during that video. So anyway, that's where that is on that. But I absolutely think Misery holds up. Okay, there. I put that there. Now I can add that back to the other a little later. Let's see. Yeah, but it definitely goes into the extreme on fandom for sure. Public Popcorn Misery does hold up very well. She says Misery's in my top 20s. Okay. Ken Sparks says, wow, 55 seconds is a super high score. I think it's that good. I think this is a great way to do this. Yeah, I prefer it that way. I do need to make sure I've got some bullet points so I don't forget, like, saying whether or not it holds up at the end after giving my score, but that's what it is. What it is. Voted for Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. Been years since I've seen that one, so that would be a good one for me to rewatch. Spoiler Kings, did he say Nightmare Before Christmas? The super horror film of Jack Skellington. Did I say that? I meant Nightmare on Elm Street. My bad. My bad. Yeah, so the 4 movies: Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Child's Play, and Halloween. My minutes. Yes, Misery is good, and perhaps explains some of the crazy people out there today. Well, Poppy says, hi, Mama Minutes. Okay. Oh, I'm going to finish my Yoo-Hoo here, see if there's any more questions or comments, and then we're going to go ahead and end the stream a little early tonight. I say early. It's not super early, but it's we're an hour and 15 in, so it's not too bad, especially considering I didn't have anybody here to bounce back and forth from tonight. So how's everybody doing tonight? Everybody having a good night? Popping Popcorn, are you doing a stream tonight as well? I was thinking you said you had something going Sunday night also. I didn't know if it was already started or if you're going to be doing it soon or if you were still doing something. So said I just voted. Okay. Oh, did it show up? There it goes. Just voted. Spoiler Kings, any new pickups, movies, or collectibles? I don't think I've gotten anything in the past week or two. Um, the last thing that I had really bought collectibles wise, they're not in here. I've got a couple of pops in the living room because my wife is so gracious to allow me to uh, have figures and stuff like that in our living room because she's kind of a nerd too. So we kind of share that fandom together with a lot of things. So we got the She-Hulk in her glittery dress here recently that's in the living room, and we got a Lizzie McGuire Funko Pop. We got a couple of those in there recently. And then in here, I opened that Blue Beetle for you guys on stream. I opened up a Bad Batch Wrecker, and that was really cool. That figure that I opened up in here when I hit 100 subs. And speaking of, like, we're super close to 200 on here, guys. We'll have to do something special when we get to there too. So I'm excited to hit that mark eventually. I think we're at like 191 right now, so I'm excited to see where the channel goes from that. Let's see. So yeah, I don't think I've got any other collectibles recently that I can talk about, unfortunately. I mean, I've got a bunch in here that I've never shown on here, but if you keep watching me long enough, I keep switching these out from time to time, so you'll be seeing different things come in on the desk over time, that sort of thing. Ken says, I'm nervous for my Eagles right now. Uh-oh. Are they losing? Popcorn says, I'm thinking about it. Y'all welcome. Come hang out. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how late I can stay up tonight. I got to get up at 4 in the morning to get ready for work at the factory. So we'll see how things go from here. Ken says, so super stressed. See, that's why I don't follow sports too much. Like, I've got a couple teams and I watch some NBA, but I don't get too overhyped for the stuff because I grew up watching some teams that I was really excited to watch, and I got let down a lot. Like, I used to be I still kind of root for them because of family and stuff from that area, but the Chicago Cubs, I used to be a big baseball fan with Chicago Cubs and watched them all the time, and they did nothing but lose all the time, and it just got really depressing. And after they won that World Series a few years ago, I just kind of quit watching just because I didn't ever want to go back to that after getting a win. So that's why I don't watch baseball anymore. Got a win, and then I was done. Popcorn Popcorn says, I'm sorry, Ken. We Dolphins fans? Oh. Ken says, I noticed you have TN on desk, but not Yamcha. Yeah, well, I got to change it up sometimes. I had Yamcha. I had a couple different Yamcha things on my desk. I had the Funko Pop where he's laying down. I've had this one where he's standing up. And I even had my other figure, which is back over there now, sitting over here for a week or two. So, I've kept Yamcha out quite a bit. I've had Jar Jar out here. I've had, MODOK from Ant-Man Quantumania Pop sitting out here. So I have to change it up every once in a while. I do have Dak Prescott, since we're talking football, sitting right here, who was also can be seen during all of Ken's stream the other night because he loves the Cowboys so much. No, I'm just kidding. But I've got Dak sitting here in support of my dad because my dad's a huge Cowboys fan, even though I don't really watch. And I've got Hercules sitting out here. You guys talked about Goliath. Goliath will switch out too. I got collectibles. I did get this BB-8 not long ago. You guys like my BB-8? It makes noises. And when you do this, it does that. So I like my BB-8. He's fun. Oh, man. Yeah, so y'all see things switch out from time to time for sure. Let's see. Winning, but it's close. 16-17 right now. Eagles have let me down. I'm sorry, Ken. Is this 2 weeks in a row they've lost? I hate to hear that. Moment says, what was the streaming scary one everyone mentioned last stream that's new and we should watch? I'm not sure. I don't guess I remember that one being brought up. Now it's tied. Ken says, how was the new Mario game? Yeah, so we've only played, like I said at the start of the stream, all my friends are playing Spider-Man right now. I'm playing the new Mario game because I can't afford a PS5. So me and my wife started playing Mario Wonder. We were going to play Friday night. She needed to study for her class, and Ken was doing a stream, so we just chose to let her study and me go on the stream with Ken Friday night. And instead, we played last night. We played a couple hours and got through first couple little levels and bosses, before we stopped. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Super Mario Wonder. And, of course, in the Nintendo spirit, I'm wearing my Kirby hat tonight just for that. So Ken says, you lie. Yeah, Ken's not a Cowboys fan. He cheers when they lose. So, and I wanted to think I looked to see if they were playing this weekend. I don't even think they had a game this weekend, or if so, it wasn't showing up when I was Googling them, because I keep up with the scores so I can talk to my dad about it, even though I don't watch the games myself. I look at the scores and I look at the stats and see who did what, and then I just talk to my dad about it from there as if I watch the games. So you can tell how big of a fan I am. Ken says BB-8 was so underutilized. I love BB-8. I agree. I love BB-8. He was so good. And the Force Awakens, I really liked the things they did with BB-8. I thought he was another great droid, but as it went on, yeah. Unfortunately, like many things in new Star Wars, it just kind of fickled out. Bobby says, I agree. Ken, Executive Reviews has a ton of horror movie reviews out right now. He does. It's like he's been putting out a new horror movie review every day. He's doing a fantastic job with all of those. And even some things that were like he got early views or screenings of and stuff. So that's really cool. Ken, now they're on a buy. Okay. See, I'm not fully crazy. I keep up with a little bit. 1 minute says, I'm having trouble figuring any horror movies I can stream that is good I haven't already seen. Well, you watch more horror movies than anybody I've ever seen in history, because that's what you watch all day, every day. So there's probably not anything you haven't seen or that you could find right now. So I'm not sure what to tell you there. Poppin' Popcorn says, all of y'all been doing amazing. Oh, thank you for that. I am truly blessed to be in a group of movie tubers and community that I'm part of right now, with all you guys that have been commenting. And then, of course, the movie tubers with Ken, Zach, and Jason, and then guys like Jason Entertainment, guys like Cosmic Broadcast, Dark Movies, like all those guys that I've been doing stuff with. And then you, Popping Popcorn, you, Spoiler Kings, like all you guys that have been so gracious to me as this little guy down here with sub 200 subs. Like, you guys have been extremely kind to me, and I really appreciate it. And it's made this entire process a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. So I do appreciate that. 1 minute's watched a couple of his. Guess I need to check more into his. Yeah, so Zach Tech Reviews, if you are not subscribed to his channel, him, Ken, and Screens In are all three in my description of this video that you're watching right now. You can go down in that description. You can see their links to their channels. You can go sub to their channels and see what all they've got. But yes, Zach Attack has a lot of horror things. In fact, if you're ever in any of Popping the Popcorn streams, her whole chat has got a lot of horror content creators that you could find and see commenting throughout there. So make sure you go check out some of her videos and look at a list of all those people that are down there through her chat, because you'll see a lot of great horror movie content creators. Popping Popcorn says, I'm y'all's little cheerleader. Ken says, Don't Breathe is my favorite horror movie of recent years. Yeah, I'm assuming she's seen Don't Breathe, but I'm not fully sure. Mom, you can let him know if you've seen that one or if that's one you need to be checking out, because I think there's two of those. So I watched the trailer for it and said, nope. Unless my wife says something that she wants to see a horror movie, I typically don't see it, or unless it just gets really big. And more recently I've done more horror just because I want to cover some of those things on this channel. But typically, unless she says she wants to see one of them, I try not to watch as much horror just because of the nightmares it gives me. Not that I don't enjoy the movies, and I'm trying to get more into it now just because it makes sense for this channel. But I've had trouble with with watching horror. It says, thanks, Poppin'. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, anything I can do to shout any of you guys like. He says, yeah, I like the second one as well. Okay. Yeah, Don't Breathe. Yeah, I got you. Poppy says, I still have not seen Don't Breathe. Okay. 1 minute saw those. Yeah, I figured you had. I really don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I really think if you'll look at some of those guys like Zack Attack and see some of the things he's putting out, because he's got some movies that I had not heard of that he reviews on there. So he may have something there too that you've not heard of that you might check in on and try out for sure. Yeah, I think Yoo-hoo tastes better out of a can. I don't know. I don't know why that would be, but I think it tastes better out of a can. All right. Is that all the comments tonight? Let's see, I went through all of my topics. Did the misery video. Says my man, she like horror movies. She loves horror movies, absolutely. Ken says, got any Halloween plans? So right now, I'm not sure what my plans for Halloween are going to be. I know we've got a 2-year-old, and we're definitely going to bring him out and do some trick or treating. I don't know if that's going to be trunk or treating or trick or treating door to door. I don't know what we're doing on that yet. Usually, we wait until we find out from different family members what all they're doing, and then kind of adjust accordingly. This year, we may just do our own thing. I don't really know yet. But whatever our Halloween plans will involve the kiddo. So I'm not dressing up this year. The last couple years we did dress up with him. Like the year before when he was like his first Halloween, I was Batman and Chelsea was Batgirl, and we had him dressed as Robin as a baby. So that was fun, that kind of thing. The year after that, I guess that was last year, he was Superman, and we went as Chips and Salsa, that kind of thing. And this year he's going to be Blippi. He also has a Hulk costume because he wanted the Hulk, but my wife said she didn't want him to be a superhero 3 years in a row, so he's going to do Blippi this year. So we're excited for that. Halloween has kind of become more our kids' thing than ours now. We don't do the parties anymore, any of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of our plans, I think. Caleb Daly, thanks for joining the stream today. He said, "What up? Just sub to your channel." Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, we've gone through our main topics right now. We're just taking questions and stuff until everybody checks out for the night. So, but I appreciate you being here, and we're just gonna keep reading until we run out, and go from there. My minutes, yes, that's why I watch 24/7 usually. Yeah, she watches a lot of horror. We got some highs back and forth. Oh. Okay. That's why it's been hard to find new ones, she says. Ken says, chilling, watching my Eagles giving me a heart attack. That's sad. Chips and salsa costumes are awesome. Yeah, we had fun with that. Ella says, Hurts first tour, always a good thing. The LA versus Pitt was, oh, I see what you're talking about. You're all talking football, aren't you? I know the score that says otherwise, but it was good. Ken says, like the stream. And Caleb Daly says, Halloween or Friday, which series do you prefer more? For me, it's the Friday the 13th movies. I have a lot of fun watching those movies. They are, I don't know why it is I like those movies more, honestly. I don't know, they just resonate with me better, I guess. I'm not a fan of the Halloween franchise, as I have stated numerous times on this channel. But that's just where I am with it. I'm not a fan of the original Halloween movie. I do like the 2018 one pretty good. I didn't like the sequels following. I can't tell you what it is about them that I don't like. It's just I'm not the biggest fan of the Halloween franchise. But Friday the 13th, I love me some Jason. I think Jason's a lot of fun. So I like watching those. Dylan Movies, thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Got some highs there. Ken says touchdown Eagles. Well, good for you. I'm glad they scored for you. Woohoo! I'll give you a woohoo. What's your score? Are y'all winning now, Ken? Are you all that kind of thing, or what's going on? Cal says that goalie does have good movies. Did good moves. Dylan movies, popping popcorn. Okay, we're back and forth. Ken says 24-17 Eagles. See, there you go. They're not giving you a heart attack then. Well, I mean, they might be giving you a heart attack. They're not letting you down though. Spoiler King says, Ken, I'm rooting for the Eagles. Well, look at that. Y'all are Bears fans, right? So that's nice of you to cheer on Ken's team for him tonight. Brown is on my fantasy team. Oh, okay. So it's all for fantasy team related. Oh, fantasy team related. So I saw your Bears made history yesterday. The goalie I was referring to is Jason. Okay. Oh man. Now, see, y'all gonna start talking sports, and you're gonna leave me behind because if it's not NBA, I don't really know anything about it. Well, we're gonna finish this up here in just a moment. If there's any last minute things you guys want to bring up, I'll take a few more comments before I go, and then I'm gonna have to get to bed so I can get ready for work tomorrow. Oh. Dale says, can't root for Eagles in good conscience. I'm a Giants fan. Mom Minute says Bears made history. Yeah, if she's going to watch football, hers is going to be Bears as well. Gal says NBA is my fave. Mine as well. I don't have a particular team. Closest team I am to is Memphis, but I'm not really a big Memphis supporter per se. I do go to some Grizzlies games, but I more follow players than I do teams, which is probably a bad thing. I don't know, but right now I'm a big Luka Doncic fan, so I'm rooting for the Mavs a lot right now. I'm kind of worried because it's still him and Kyrie together, and it didn't really work well last year. So we'll see if that changes this year. Ken says, DJ, if you could bring one horror franchise back for a trilogy, which would it be? That's a good question. Horror franchise. Trying to think of ones that I actually like that I'd want to see come back. That's tough. Leprechaun. Let's bring back the Leprechaun series. Let's do that and see what it looks like today. Is that a bad choice? Cal says, who all on Instagram? I assume that's what you're saying. I'm on Instagram. I don't know who else is. I don't do a lot on Instagram, but I put up the shorts that I put on YouTube. I put on my reels on Instagram and do a little bit on there. But Spiller Kings, haha, again, sports and have to stop ourselves. Nerdy news and sports on separate channels. Cal Dell, LOL, it's a long road for you. Mom Minute says good night. Good night, Mom. Thanks for joining the stream tonight. I'm glad you could join me, even though Ken wasn't here. For y'all that don't know, my mom prefers watching the other guys that I have on this channel or when I'm on other people's channels than she does my own. So, and I know she'll argue that, but that really is the way it seems. I know the other night, Ken was doing the interview back and forth talking about how we got our channel started, and he talked to Zach, and then he talked to Jason, Screens In, and then right before he got to me, Mom's like, later, guys, and she hops off the stream right before I start. So if that tells you anything, I'm just saying she prefers those guys over me. All right. Spiller Kings, my minutes. On Tuesdays, we have Chicago Bears show at YouTube. Oh, okay, yeah. So if you want to find out what's going on with the Bears, Mom, that's a good place for you to go to. Ken says Moon Knight versus Freddy Krueger. Who wins? Moon Knight. Let's say Moon Knight. I don't know though. I love Moon Knight though. Spiller King, sorry for the plug. Hey, I don't mind. It ain't bothering me as long as like not everybody's plugging constantly. But I mean, right now, as small as I am, it's not like you're taking up all my comment section with it or nothing, so it don't matter. Plus, you guys are cool. Not that other people wouldn't be cool. Okay, I'm just going to stop. All right. Dell on Movie says, yeah, Kel, we suck right now. We've been great. Also a Knicks fan. I've heard it's tough when you're a Knicks fan. I don't know. Let's see. To be fair, it didn't have a chance to work. Yeah, you're talking about Kyrie and Luka, I'm assuming. Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping now they had that little bit of time and they've had this summer. They go training camp, preseason, all this stuff. I'm hoping this year will be a better look for the two of them. We'll see. Moment it says, "Ugh, Leprechaun was awful, DJ." See, that's why it needs a new trilogy franchise, because they need to come back and do it better. Kel says, "Dell, Knicks, and Giant fan." Sheesh. Bring Wishmaster back. Okay. Dell says, "Your favorite subgenre of horror." Um, are you talking like between slasher and like? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but um, if that's what you're getting at, then really the more comedy horror, or even like the whodunit horror, like a Scream type thing. I really like that aspect of horror. But like recently, I love Totally Killer when it came out, so that was something that I really like. Moments. Okay, someone will have to remind me. Spoiler King. My days run together. Yeah, I always have to let her know when I'm streaming, even though she knows it's every Sunday night. I still have to tell her. Cal says Leprechaun is coming back with Warwick, so I'm excited. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's extremely interesting. Ken says, I'm not sure. He says something. Cal says big Leprechaun fan. Okay. And he says slasher anthology for me. Okay. So that's kind of the direction you're going with that. Ken says Leprechaun. Leprechaun in space was something else. Yeah. Anytime they bring a horror thing to space, it's something else. Your favorite type of horror? Okay. Yeah, I'd say favorite type is either like the whatever you would consider Scream to be, or even oh, this went crooked on me, or even something like a comedy horror like Totally Killer was. Mom minutes. Oh, you must have watched a different Leprechaun than me. Cal, I'm Miss Minutes. Pleased to meet you. Okay. Ken says, I have about 30 minutes left of Totally Killer. I've been nickel and diming it every night before bed. Oh, really? Is it because you're not enjoying it much, or is it just, I mean, I don't know. What's the reasoning for it taking so long to watch it? Are you just not liking it, or are you just giving you something to watch at bedtime? Ken says those were a lot of plugs. Oh, see, so when I see images on my chat, it's really hard for me to see from here because my screen's so far away from me. I know it probably can't tell that from here, but my screen's like way back over there, and then my phone camera is up here. That is my phone. Yeah. I'm just going to reach my hand out and try to see what's where. So it was hard for me to tell what the images were on there. My minutes, my favorite horror are more of a thriller and jumps and psychological, not as much as the blood and gore, but I will watch them. Okay. And then Ken says, see, Mama Minutes, I thought you were going to bed. Ken says there was also Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun Back to the Hood. So those are ones I actually liked. I like the Leprechaun in the Hood movies. I have fun with those. Ken says, no, I'm enjoying it. I'm just doing editing so much I don't get a chance to watch things. Okay, I understand. I was like, oh no, because I know I hyped that movie up quite a bit. So I was hoping you weren't just hating it. And I say that to say that's not like the perfect movie or anything, but I do enjoy it a lot. My minute says, oh yeah, Ken, I think I've seen those. Yeah, those are goofy. See, those are some of like those comedy horror that I like. Like even you can even get Child's Play into some of that comedy horror stuff because those were kind of goofy movies too, especially when you get like in a seed and Chucky and stuff. Like I laughed all the way through that. All right, Ken says, still haven't seen a single episode of Gen V. So I actually forgot to mention that one during my what I'm watching segment tonight. But I'm loving Gen V. I think we're 6 episodes in now or something. Fantastic season of television. To me, I like it just as much as The Boys. This episode that just came out might have brought somebody in everybody will recognize. So that was really cool to see. Fantastic show. Great way to do a spinoff. Feels like we're still in the regular show. It's just a side story. So that's really, really good. If you're not watching Gen V and you like The Boys, then you need to be watching Gen V. Spoiler King, Leprechaun in the Hood was awesome. Yeah, I thought those were great. Those were good movies. One minute says, did you watch the one with Snoop Dogg and maggots? I can't remember the name of it, but I had to sit by the door so I could keep from feeling sick. I'm not sure what that one was. Ken, yeah, it was wild to watch those kids. Cosmic, hey man, what's going on, buddy? Cosmic Broadcast says, so sorry I'm late to the stream. Wife is in the hospital to monitor blood pressure before baby is born this week. Figured I'd catch a stream while late. Hey, that is fantastic. That the baby's coming this week. If y'all don't know, Jonah, Cosmic Broadcast, fantastic channel. Go sub to him right now if you haven't already. Great guy. And the baby may come. I'm hoping he's still going to be on the stream tomorrow night, but we're excited to have that DC Comics stream tomorrow night with him and Kenny Sparks and Screen Zen Entertainment and myself and Zach Attack Reviews and House of L Comics. All those guys are going to be on my channel tomorrow night and talk about DCU and James Gunn coming. What characters we want to see James Gunn bring to it. So that's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. Make sure you're here on this channel for that tomorrow because we're going to have fun with that. And hopefully Cosmic will be there. But if he's not, if baby comes early, hey, I'm not gonna blame you for it because that's really exciting. I can tell you there is nothing more special than bringing a baby into the world and that time you get with them. So if something happens and you're not, I totally understand. Spiller King's King, you're missing out on Gen V. It's so good. Absolutely it is. Well, I kind of put that together. I got what you were saying. Dell on movie says, my minutes, is that Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horrors? Yeah, I don't know if I've ever watched that. If that's Ken says, I started watching the first episode, was eating during the first scene, I turned it off. Yeah, I don't blame you there. Ken says, Cosmic Baby is on the way. We're excited for him for that. Spoiler Kings, Cosmic Workers, congrats on the upcoming baby. Yes, congrats. Mama, yes, Ken, I loved all the classic gore movies. I've been watching them since I was about 8. Okay. Interception. Sounds like your Eagles are turning things around for you. I'm happy for you. Cosmic says, I'm still good for tomorrow night as long as there's no baby tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. I understand if that happens, but if not, I'm excited to see you come tomorrow and have you on this channel. Tomorrow night's stream is I'm more excited for that than probably any stream I've done on this channel anyway, because I love DC Comics. I don't even think I've got anything DC on my desk right now, but there will be tomorrow because I guarantee you I'm going to be covering this thing with all things DC for tomorrow night's stream. I cannot wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you're here tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, because we're going to have a great time. And it's going to get chaotic because there's going to be 6 of us. A lot of congrats for Jonah. Spiller Kings just subbed to Cosmic. Can't wait to check out your content. Dude, you will not be disappointed. He's got, for instance, a little while back, not real long back, but like a month or so. I don't know when it was exactly, but he did his ranking for MCU. And even though, his rankings are not my rankings, so they're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Even though his rankings are different than what I would have put them, the video quality itself made me want to change all of my rankings because it was such a great video. And every video he does is that good. Even him doing a video just talking about how things are going to change on his channel because of the baby coming along was better editing in a video than I've ever done on anything I've done. So him being so great at that is one of the reasons I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do that. I might as well just do live streaming because he's that good. So not to hype Cosmic Broadcast up too much, but he deserves that hype. Kid says, was it that Snoop Dogg movie Bones? Cosmic says, much appreciated, Spoiler Kings. Y'all are awesome. Spoiler, packed house out here tomorrow. Yes, it's going to be. If I could have had more on, I would have too. At first, I thought, well, I'll get a couple of people. And honestly, at first, it was just going to be me and Cosmic Broadcast doing this because I went onto his channel and did something recently, and then I was going to do this on mine. And I love DC Comics, and I was like, hey, something we can both talk about and that kind of thing. And then it kind of just turned into everybody coming onto this. And at first, I thought, well, maybe I'll just get everybody come on for a few minutes here and there and just jump people in and out. And I was like, I don't know, if all these guys are free that I've already got, then maybe we'll just do the whole stream with all of us, and I'll just try to interview style it and go back and forth on, okay, what character for you, that kind of thing, and we'll just talk about it with each other, that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be fun. I've been working on the thumbnail for like 3 days now, and it still is a super simple thumbnail, but at the same time, it's taken me some work to do. So I'm excited for that. So yes, we are going to have a packed house tomorrow, and it's going to be fun. And I'm a huge DC fan. I don't know if I keep saying that. Like, I don't think I can stress enough how big of a DC fan I am and how excited I am to see this reboot and to see what James Gunn's going to do with it, because some of my favorite stuff in DC so far have been the Suicide Squad by James Gunn and Peacemaker. So if he can bring any of that magic to what he's bringing to DC, then I'm going to be happy about it. Kenny, yeah, Swilly King's Cosmic Broca has the best editing I've seen. I aspire to be that good at editing. Ken, you're pretty good yourself. I wouldn't knock yourself, but yeah, that's he is very good. 1 minute's Oh Bones. I think that's it. I'd love to watch it again. Okay, there you go. Swilly King's love well edited videos. Ken says favorite DC comic series. So my favorite series that I've ever read in DC is probably I love the Green Arrow, Green Lantern, or Green Lantern, Green Arrow team up series back in like the 80s or whenever that was. I read through all of those. Really love that one. Recently, I love some of the Future State stuff. I thought Future State was a fantastic series. I don't know how many other people liked it as much as I did, but there were a couple of those storylines in Future State, especially like the Batman and the Nightwing stuff. And man, it's really hard. I don't know. I'd have to really think about a favorite. Like I don't do good with thinking of favorite things. Like I'm working on something for my birthday in a couple of weeks right now for YouTube that involves favorite things, and I struggle with it because I like so much and I love so much, and I can't tell you how many comic books and movies I like. I look at and I'm like, oh, I love this is like the top 10 for me. Oh, this is top 10 for me. Well, I've got like 50 top 10s in every category of all fandom. So I really don't know what's really top 10. I just like a lot of things. DJ, are a huge DC fan? Couldn't tell. Could you not? Yeah, I'm a big DC fan. Favorite comic book villain is Riddler, and you can see I took a lot of time making this Riddler parlor bead figure image behind me with over 7,000 beads, just because I like Riddler so much. My kid is named Edward, which for me it's for the Riddler. For my wife, it's for Twilight. That's why he got the middle name Jacob. But I was good with it because I love Riddler so much. So yeah, I'm a big DC guy. I got my Green Arrow up here, my favorite comic book character of all time, Green Arrow. I'll never forget the first time I saw Green Arrow, and I will bring this up again tomorrow night, I'm sure of it. But first time I was a kid, my dad used to make me watch the Super Friends animated show, and that was, other than my Uncle Donovan, House of L Comics, getting me into comics themselves and really teaching me about comic book lore. And of course, he's a huge Superman guy. Other than that, my dad with Super Friends was really my introduction into, and those were old cartoons when I was a kid. But that was my introduction into DC lore. And like, there was one episode in the first season. I used to know the episode title and number and all that, but whatever. But there was one episode, the only episode Green Arrow ever popped up in, and it was him having to save all the other Justice League because they'd all been like shrunken down and put into a bottle by Dr. something or other. and it was up to the guy with no powers to come in and save the rest of the Justice League. And I was like, this is really cool. Dude with a bow and arrow that looks like Robin Hood is saving all these bigwigs, And so ever since then, I've been a Green Arrow fan. And of course, they've had him show up on Smallville and has his own show and stuff now too. But before that, I was a huge fan of him. Reading all those comics with him, with Green Lantern, like I thought that's one of the greatest team ups we've ever had in comic books. Absolutely love all that. I don't know why I got on that tangent with that just now, but that's something I'm very passionate about. Spoiler, I love DC. We always been saying DC has the better stories and characters, just can't translate big screen. I'm a big Green Lantern fan. Yeah, and I think they can translate. I just think we haven't found the right people to translate them yet. I don't know that that's James Gunn, but it might be James Gunn. And I'm just really excited to see where this goes, what Superman Legacy looks like, so that we can find out if this is the DC that we've been waiting for to finally come to the big screen. Ken says, I love Scott Snyder's Batman run. Okay, that's a good one. Spoiler, DC Blackest Night event was the best. Ooh, Blackest Night was good. When they bring Batman back as a Black Lantern OMG. Yeah. Yeah, seeing all the different stuff in Blackest Night and seeing the darkness that it went to was a lot of fun. Ken, you talking about the metal stuff? Because that was awesome too. Yeah, that was good. Ken, also a huge fan of Brian Azzarello's Wonder Woman and Jeff Johns Green Lantern. Jeff Johns Green Lantern is very good. And I even like some of the Crisis stuff they've done in the comics. It gets a little convoluted at times, but I like a lot of that. I love it when I see characters team up in big crossover events and stuff too. Kansas Wilkins Nas New 52 Batman run with the Joker's face stapled on. Yeah, metal was awesome too. Okay. Cosmic Contrast, the Batman Who Laughs is underrated. I was hooked on that run for a few years back. Deceased was awesome too. The zombie series. Yeah, Deceased was cool. And the Batman Who Laughs, man, that was terrifying. Like that's almost like reading horror in his looks alone. Tom King's Mr. Miracle. Tom King's Batman was good for a while, and then the Batcat Mirage fake out happened. Okay. I've never read a Crisis event. Yeah, they're overwhelming at times. But I had a lot of fun with Infinite Crisis. There were a few that I really liked, like a few big crossovers like that I've enjoyed with DC, but they do seem to get a little convoluted, more so than even Marvel's crossovers to me. And I'm a bigger DC guy when it comes to comics than I am with Marvel. Like I like the characters more, I like the storytelling more in DC. I do think Marvel, to what Spoiler Kings was saying a little while ago, I think Marvel's stuff has translated better to the big screen so far, but I don't know if that's because of it being the tone of what Marvel is compared to DC, or if that's something else. Hang on, I just got a message from someone. Make sure that's not something serious. Give me just a minute, guys. Sorry, guys. And, okay. All right. Get that taken care of. All right. Let's see. Where were we at? I just got myself all mixed up now. I've never read a Crisis event. Yeah, like I said, it was Infinite, the one with Morrison. Morrison Infinite, I think, was about written. I think it was Jeff Johns. Am I mixing that up? Not sure. I don't want to lie to you when I think of things. If I don't want to give you the wrong stuff, especially if House of L's ever in here, he likes to correct me if I get anything wrong DC. So I have to really stay on my game if I'm going to try to say something. Kim says, "Oh, I really like Deceased. That was a lot of fun. It was." Spoiler Kings, I think Gunn can make great DC accurate movie universe. Sucks that people want to cancel stop him because their universe ended. I know, man. I have nothing against the Snyderverse. I just am so ready to move on from it. You know what I mean? It's not that I hated it. I enjoyed a lot of those movies. I enjoyed, a lot of what the DCEU was, even though a lot of others didn't. But at the same time, I'm excited to see where this goes with James Gunn and what he's going to do with it. I think James Gunn is a terrific filmmaker, and I think he does a fantastic job with with everything he works on. So, and he's a nerd like us. So, like, I'm extremely excited for it. Ken says, "Oh, I was thinking about Final Crisis. I couldn't make it through it. I got you. Yeah. Infinite's a little bit different." Mama Minutes, do you have to work tomorrow? Yes, I do. In fact, the message I got a minute ago was reminding me I needed to be getting off soon because I needed to get some sleep. So I will probably end this here in just a minute. Ken says, touchdown Eagles. Well, congratulations. It looks like your Eagles are going to wind up with the win tonight. So you can go to bed in a happy mood this evening. All right. With that said, there might be a couple more I'll read as we go through here, but I'm going to go ahead and start the ending of this stream. Loved Snyder, loved all his other movies, did not like those DC movies. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And sleep, what's that? Yeah, I definitely need to make sure I get some sleep. I don't want to run tonight late and not go to bed at a decent time and then be up again on what I know is going to be a late stream tomorrow night. So I do have to get up at 4 every morning to get ready for work, and I work 10-hour days. So I definitely need to try to get some rest tonight while I can. So with that said, this is going to end tonight's stream. I will try to clip out these segments from this video and post them throughout this week because I really want to start doing it that way on this channel. If I can figure out how to do that, because I've had trouble figuring that out in the past on this already. So it'll be a learning experience for me. And I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm going to start on that sometime tomorrow. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Make sure you join us for that stream. Again, if you haven't voted yet for Does It Hold Up, it's going to go until Wednesday morning for that poll, and that is in the description here or on my community tab. And it's all iconic slashers from older slasher movies. You'll recognize all 4. And I think that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for joining me for this newest episode of Movie News in a Minute on the Movie Time Minute channel. Ken's got busy night tonight as well. It sounds like 2 video essays to edit, and says great job. All right. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, and then I'll be on Jason's channel, I think, Thursday night for the Loki spoiler talk. And I don't know where else I'll be, but I'll be somewhere, I'm sure. So if you haven't subbed to the other movie tubers yet, that's in the description as well. I think I'm going to stop rambling now. Thank you all for joining. Everybody that commented today made this great stream, 2 hours long. And I appreciate you all for being here. And with that, I'll say good night.